as far as reconciliation is concerned, do you see it happening?
Yes, so what we have to do is ask industry to, if you're going to be taking resources, and kind of force chiefs to know that language is the biggest resource we need back. That if there's going to be some kind of a monetary trade-off, then let's not put money in the pockets of our people. Let's put money into language for our people, and that everybody benefits.
You're not a huge fan of reconciliation. This is not film, right?
Yeah.
Because I think that right now in Canada we're not having the right conversation because we're not talking about land, and I'm not interested in the kind of reconciliation that takes place without talking about the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room for me is land and how we're going to share it. And it's very, very difficult for me to live in my territory and operate as a Mississauga and Anishinaabe person when I don't have access to land, when I don't have access to my homeland. And so I think Canada has a tremendous amount of land, and I think that we need to be talking about how we're going to share it. My ancestors intended for me to have a homeland where I could live as an Anishinaabe person, and they intended for there to be lands that were shared. And that we decided on how to use the gifts of our mother with the Canadian government and the Ontario government, and that there were other parts of our territory that were maybe under the exclusive jurisdiction of Canada or Ontario. But that's not how it's played out. And I think the idea that happened in the past and we can't talk about land, you're not getting your land back, but let's be friends and we can skip into the future and just forget about the stolen laptop that we still have in our possession that's yours, doesn't sit well, I think, with a lot of Indigenous people.
And the I Don't Know More movement is an honorable movement and stuff. I like the fact that it remained spiritual, but when it became confrontational, it changed its energy, and I don't know why they wear army gear, because it's, to me, I know they're fighting, but they're not fighting for peace. They're not fighting in a peaceful way. And in our language we have Zamadinus, which means warrior. And warrior is one who stands up for, not I guess it's a way of fighting. But I said, the language you're hearing on the news, that profanity, that anger, that's your language, that's not our language. So the government has done a good job in bringing that anger into the language that was forced on us. And now you guys are getting it back. If we were protesting in our language, for one thing, we wouldn't be elevating the volume, because we're taught not to holler at creation, and especially at each other. And what we leave behind in this anger, the next generation's going to inherit that anger in the air.
I feel it.
And you have to be careful. And so what we have to do is, if we're going to protest, let's do it the way the women did at Clayoquot Sound, where grandmothers went arm in arm, and sang, and they stopped these great big company trucks from coming on because they stood arm in arm and sang. That's the kind of protesting I like to be a part of.